Us. So let's tackle Nvidia first, and we can get into some of the other big movers here.
Absolutely. So yeah, Nvidia is definitely the big one for the week. So that is the question. Is Nvidia going to be sort of the period at the end of the sentence we've seen with the earnings season? It's been pretty mixed so far. I think for us, there's two pieces. There's the fundamentals, what's going on with the company, and then what is sentiment? How are investors kind of baking in some of this growth? On the fundamental side, things look pretty good. So most of their big customers, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, et cetera, they're spending a ton of money. They've already reported how much they've spent on CapEx chips, how much they're planning to spend for this year. So that looks pretty good. So we feel generally pretty favorable in terms of NVIDIA for the quarter and even for the guidance, feeling pretty reasonable there. I think the real question mark is sentiment. So trying to kind of get ahead of that, just take a quick look at the stock. NVIDIA stock has been right around with the market for, let's say, 3 to 6 months. To us, that suggests investors really don't have massive expectations built up for the quarter. So if it's an inline quarter, if it's reasonable, maybe they beat and raised a little bit. To us, again, the stock's not moving a whole lot ahead of time, probably not a massive move. So that's sort of what we're looking at, as we get just a day or so ahead of earnings. We'll see what happens, but that's sort of our best guess as we look at sort of the last major company in this cycle of earnings.
Results coming out after the closing bell tomorrow. Beth Kindig of IO Fund, a tech-focused stock portfolio, writing Nvidia delivered its strongest sequential growth since Q4 23 last quarter. Blackwell Ultra will likely continue this strong momentum. Beth joins us now for more. Beth, welcome back. Let's just start with Nvidia and why this bull market, this rally, has stalled, even though these big tech names are putting up some major capex intentions.
Yeah, I guess I would counter and just say typically the market all along has misjudged NVIDIA and many other AI semiconductors and AI hardware players. There has never really been a moment in the last 3 years where the market got it, except for maybe that one big blowout report with NVIDIA. What they're missing now is that the way these GPU generations work is that they ship in volume production, which means this strong quarter we saw last quarter, which was one of the highest in 2 years. It's saying a lot. This company easily, comfortably beats basically every quarter. So saying a lot that it's the biggest beat in 2 years is likely to continue to flow. That momentum is likely to continue because GPU generations it's shipping in volume. It's in production volume right now. So what the market is missing is by keeping this stock range bound, it's now a valuation story. We're no longer at the Blackwell Ultra shipping is how big of a deal is Vera Rubin. We're at this stock is dirt cheap because it continued to put up strong quarters. And now the market kept it range bound. So personally, the way I look at this is it's a valuation story going into tomorrow night.
Calling it dirt cheap after it rose to be $4 trillion and then nearly $5 trillion of valuation is definitely a bold call, Beth. I just wonder, to make it simple, how low is the bar right now for NVIDIA to just sort of step over tomorrow afternoon?
Yeah, I would just counter and say I did not say the market cap was cheap. I said the valuation is cheap, which means on a sales ratio and an earnings ratio, we're looking at April lows. So I do want to make sure I clarify that.
Understood. I'm just wondering, though, going forward, given the fact that they have increased their revenues to such a big degree, and frankly, there will be more coming with respect to Meta and with respect to Microsoft and Google and the others. I'm just wondering how low the bar is. I mean, do you think that essentially if they show what they've been spending, even if they do have a big CapEx plan that they announce, that it will be well received?
I think going back to your point that this is the world's most valuable company, that there is not a low bar for NVIDIA. I think the bar is always very high. And what I'm saying is that because the way these GPU generations ship, we're in volume production on Blackwell Ultra, that bar will likely be cleared this quarter. Where I look at this forward and backward, of course, and very close to this stock. What we want moving forward is a smooth handoff to Vera Rubin. We want to make sure that generation ships on time. That is where I'm focused at this point because Blackwell Ultra is pretty much priced in.
Beth, do you think there are some doubts around that then?
There are only doubts because there was a little bit of a rough handoff to Blackwell. We had about a 6-month delay on Blackwell, and that is actually showing up a lot in this range-bound price action we've seen over the last year. The market has gotten complacent over the fact that there were these shipping delays. And it's simply because NVIDIA continues to challenge what is possible with compute. So there can often be moments where, while doing that, the way that it's built, qualified, and shipped, there can sometimes be some delays. I don't know that. I think Vera Rubin's on time.
Wall Street's big day has finally arrived. Following today's closing bell on February 25th, Nvidia is expected to offer operating forecasts for fiscal 2027 in addition to its eagerly awaited fiscal 2026 fourth quarter operating results, which concluded on January 25th, 2026. With its virtual stranglehold on enterprise data centers' graphics processing units, GPUs, Nvidia has swiftly emerged as the face of the artificial intelligence, AI revolution. As a result, since the beginning of 2023, the company's shares have increased by about 1,200%. It has been common practice to significantly surpass Wall Street analysts' consensus sales and earnings projections. Even though there's a good chance that the biggest publicly traded company on Wall Street will surpass consensus projections once more, investors should use gross margin as another operational metric to assess whether Nvidia's fourth quarter results and fiscal 2027 outlook are successful or not. Everyone will be watching Nvidia's profit margin. Nvidia has benefited from two main aspects. First, compared to its external rivals like Advanced Micro Devices, its Hopper, H100, Blackwell, and Blackwell Ultra GPUs have better computing power. Consumers are frequently prepared to spend more for better products. Second, the overall demand for GPUs has far exceeded the supply. There aren't enough GPUs to meet demand, despite Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing rapidly increasing its monthly chip-on-wafer-on-substrate capacity. Nvidia has tremendous pricing power as a result of this supply and demand relationship. The growth of AI has caused Nvidia's gross margin to soar from the low to mid-60% range to an expected 74.8% for the fiscal fourth quarter based on generally accepted accounting standards, GAAP. The highlight of Nvidia's fourth quarter report and full-year projection should be the company's GAAP gross margin, since it directly addresses the most crucial query. Does Nvidia still have remarkable pricing power? Customers are still paying top dollar for the next Vera Rubin GPU and Blackwell Ultra if the company's GAAP gross margin guidance for fiscal 2027 stays in the 74% to 75% range, if not higher. This would be a triumph and suggest that Nvidia's stock could rise further. Nonetheless, it would most likely be a sign that one or more competitive pressures are having an adverse effect if Nvidia's GAAP gross margin target fell to the low 70% level, or worse. AMD's GPUs are more affordable and more widely accessible, despite Nvidia's GPUs now having a virtual monopoly in AI-accelerated data centers. Nvidia's dominant data center share might potentially be eroded by outside competitors. In addition, the majority of the Magnificent Seven are working on their own internal GPU or AI development projects to complement Nvidia's technology in their data centers. These chips are less expensive, do not have backlogs, and can take up precious data center space, but they cannot compete with Vera Rubin or Blackwell Ultra's computing power. Nvidia's last week's extension of a multi-year GPU contract with Meta Platforms may allay some of these concerns, but it also highlights the fact that a future reduction in GPU scarcity will have a negative effect on Nvidia's pricing power and GAAP gross margin. This year, Nvidia will probably be set up by one straightforward figure. Nvidia's earnings report can be bet on in a number of ways. Even if they don't hold a single share, or any equities at all, some traders could make a significant profit or loss following Nvidia's announcement tomorrow. People can now profit from a variety of outcomes in addition to the direction of stock prices thanks to prediction markets, which have produced narrower slices of wagers around the revenues of well-known companies. For instance, a trader focusing on Nvidia might wager on a wager that asks, will Nvidia beat quarterly earnings? And profit even if the result has little effect on the company's stock price. Funkier wagers are also available. What will Nvidia say on their next earnings call is one of them. As of Tuesday morning, the probabilities of the word humanoid being said are 59% higher than those of the words tariff or Taiwan, which have odds of 54% and 49% respectively. With lower relative buy-ins, shorter time horizons for profit, and the belief that individuals can place well-informed bets with study, these event contract types seem to be appealing to retail traders. Bettors in the prediction market can purchase a single contract for cents and receive $1 if the outcome is favorable. A person would have to wager $59 to turn a $41 profit if they were to purchase 100 shares of a contract based on the assumption that someone on Nvidia's conference call For example, CEO Jensen Huang or another corporate representative says humanoid, and it does. The reward increases as the odds decrease. The market recently placed a 16% probability on VR or virtual reality, so a gambler could purchase 100 shares of that contract for $16 and profit $84. Join our investor community. Hit subscribe and like to get your daily Nvidia stock insights and tutorials delivered. These results could appear random to the uninformed viewer, and the event is a wild guess. However, in an attempt to get an advantage, some bettors have become inventive. An ambitious 21-year-old sat in the stadium parking lot with a clock and a recording device to time rehearsals, and he gambled on how long Charlie Puth would sing the national anthem at Super Bowl LX1. The likelihood that the word humanoid will be used during Nvidia's earnings call is high, which may be related to the fact that it has been used previously in other settings. Corporate executives used the term at least a few times in relation to robotics during corporate presentations at conferences from late October to early February, according to an Investopedia scan of the term using transcripts supplied by AlphaSense. Due to pressure from concerns about artificial intelligence disruption and the attraction of underperforming groups, the technology stock market has stumbled out of the starting blocks in 2026. However, without the support of the heavyweight sector, the whole market might find it difficult to make significant gains. With concerns over whether AI-related sell-offs have been too severe and when under-pressure stocks might see a turning point, Nvidia's quarterly report on Wednesday looms as the next test for the tech industry. An AI bellwether, the semiconductor behemoth and the largest corporation in the world by market capitalization, might have a significant impact on the industry with its outcomes and future prospects. "I don't think it's the end of the world, but AI will continue to disrupt the world," said Ken Polcari, chief market strategist and partner at Slatestone Wealth in Jupiter, Florida. "There will be concern throughout it, as with any industrial revolution, but there will also be fresh opportunities after it is over." The technology sector of the S&P 500 has lost 3.5% so far this year, which is the worst start since 2022, when the Federal Reserve began raising interest rates and stocks generally declined. Performance within the sector has varied. Software firms have been inundated with worries that emerging AI capabilities could cause disruptions to their operations. This is the worst start for the group on record, with the S&P 500 Software and Services Index down 23% so far in 2026. Shares of Intuit, one of the largest software decliners, have fallen almost 46% this year. The company will release its results on Thursday. Salesforce's stock has fallen 30% so far this year. The company reports on Wednesday. Nevertheless, there are encouraging signals for investors. The group saw a slight recovery on Tuesday after Anthropic announced it has new tools it built with several partner companies, despite shares being negatively impacted by a research paper underlining hazards associated to AI. In 2026, two other technology-related industry groups, hardware and semiconductors and equipment, are rising more than 4% and 7% respectively. When compared to software, semiconductor stocks have performed at extremely high levels. Among the Magnificent Seven group of mega-cap stocks, which also includes Apple, Tesla, and Alphabet, Nvidia is the largest corporation. Due to the company's disproportionate earnings growth and competitive advantages, investors flocked to those stocks, which led the way for a large portion of the most recent bull market, which started in October 2022. Chuck Carlson, the CEO of Horizon Investment Services in Hammond, Indiana, stated that Nvidia's revenues are significant since they play a crucial role in the Mag 7. However, the Magnificent Seven's 2026 performance has been mediocre. With an increase of more than 3%, Nvidia has been the top performer. According to S&P Dow Jones indices, Amazon has down around 10%, and Microsoft has fallen almost 20% among the other Mag 7 members, making it the largest single drag on the S&P 500's performance this year as of Friday. Aside from worries about the software sector, Microsoft's stock has been negatively impacted by fears that the company's enormous investments in developing AI-related infrastructure won't yield enough profits. Amazon, Alphabet, and Meta platforms have also been affected by similar expenditure concerns. Investors have shifted to other market sectors that have been underperforming for the most of the bull market, which has contributed to tech's difficulties. The tech industry has experienced a roughly 10% decline since its high in late October of last year. Materials and energy have increased by more than 20% throughout that period, while consumer staples and industrials have increased by more than 10%. Despite tech's problems, the benchmark S&P 500 remained mostly stable since late October, thanks to the support of those groups. Tech continues to play a key role in the performance of the main benchmark indexes, despite its lackluster return thus far this year. For example, technology has a 33% weighting in the S&P 500, while finance, with a 12.4% weighting, is the next largest of the 11 index sectors. This implies that without the assistance of technology, it will be difficult for the benchmark indices to rise noticeably, even while the other industries flourish. Don't forget to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your input helps create a more knowledgeable community where we can all learn and grow together in the world of investing. Stay up to date with the latest market trends, insights, and key updates by subscribing to Investing Tutorial. We're here to help you make smarter investment decisions and stay ahead of the curve.